This episode of the Crack House Chronicles is brought to you by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist.
You can start communicating in under 48 hours. This is not a crisis line or a self-help line. It's professional counseling done securely online.
Now, Dale, this is a broad range of expertise that is available, which may not be locally available in many areas.
Yeah, this service is available for clients worldwide.
Worldwide?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. And you can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You'll get a timely and thoughtful response, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, so you don't have to worry about sitting in an uncomfortable waiting room and waiting on a traditional therapist.
Yeah, which is really good in this time. You don't really want to go and sit in the waiting room with a bunch of people with the stuff going on that's going on today.
Sit there with a mask on and, yeah,
it's no good. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches. And if you don't like your counselor, it's pretty easy to change.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
It's more affordable than traditional online counseling, and financial aid is available.
That's always good right there.
That's awesome. Yeah. And BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today.
That's right. So visit their website and read the testimonials. They're posted there daily.
All right, Dale. Visit BetterHelp.com/CHC. That's better, H-E-L-P. And you can join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional.
That's right. In fact, so many people are using it now, they're actually recruiting counselors in all 50 states. So a special offer for our listeners, you can get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/CHC. You got to use the code word betterhelp.com/CHC.
Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles. I am Donnie, your host, and with me is a man whose voicemail greeting says, please leave your name and number and a damn good reason why this conversation couldn't be done over text.
That's right.
It's Dale.
Ooh, that reminds me of one I had on my answer machine years ago. My dad chapped my ass over that one. But anyway.
It's okay.
We'll skip that.
That's another episode for us. What's going on, bud?
Oh, not much. What's up with you, pal?
I'm glad to do another episode, man.
Yeah, it's good to get back in the groove.
Absolutely. You got anything for us? Any kind of good shout-outs? Anything going on?
We're going to shout out to our buddy Tim Willis, old Stokes85. Good shout out to you, buddy.
I think that's Stoke 85.
Is it? Man, I had too many S's in my Stokes. Anyway, we'd like to give a shout out to him, man. He's a good guy.
Yep. And he is actually joining us here in the Crack House today. Woo. Sitting on the sidelines, giving a thumbs up.
Sitting on the sideline.
Put me in, coach. Let me play.
I want to talk. Hey, taxi.
Pad 4, please.
That's right. I'm glad you're here, buddy.
All right. What else you got going on?
Oh, what do you think, man? We're going to push a little stuff on you. How about get it out there and give us a Apple rate and review. Go out there if you have an Apple device. Go to out there and give us a rating. It really helps us out. Go out to our YouTube channel and give us a subscription follow there. Go out and like our Facebook. And follow us on Instagram. You might get some cool stuff that way.
And also check out our website. Check out the store page. Check out the T-shirts and other merchandise that's on there. Get you a Crack House T-shirt, people.
Yeah, you need you one.
Absolutely.
And if you don't want to drop that much change, you can just always go down and give us some gas money button and drop us a few dollars. How about that?
Yep. Tim Willis got a T-shirt today.
Oh, yeah? Did he give us any money?
He drank a beer out of my fridge.
Okay, close enough.
Okay.
All right, what's going on today, Donnie?
All right, Dale. We have an unusual case, and we're going to leave this open-ended and let people decide what they think.
911, what is your emergency? CHP transfer. Chief is on the line. Hello, can I help you?
Hello? Yeah, so I just got home from work, and my wife wasn't there, which is unusual, and my kids should have been there by now from, like, daycare. So I was like, oh, maybe she went on a walk. I couldn't find her, so I called the daycare to see what time she picked up the kids. The kids were never picked up, so I got freaked out, so I hit, like, the Find My iPhone app thing, and it said that it showed her phone, like, at our end of our driveway. We don't have really good service.
Okay.
Not the end of our driveway, but the end of our street. So I just drove down there, and I saw her phone with her headphones because she started running again, and I found her phone, and it's got like hair ripped out of it, like in the headphones. So I'm like totally freaking out, thinking like somebody grabbed her.
Okay, what's your address?
Reading.
Okay, what's your last name?
Yes. Papini, P-A-P-I-N-I.
And your first name?
Keith.
K-E-I-T-H?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go pick up your children?
No, I'm going to call my mom and have her do it.
Okay. What's your wife's name?
I'm going to, like, knock on every door. Sherri. S-H-E-R-R-I.
And same last name?
Yes.
She white, female?
Yes.
What's her date of birth?
It is June 11th, 1982.
Is her vehicle there, or does she not have a vehicle?
She has a vehicle at the house.
Okay, the vehicle is at the house?
She's running.
How? Okay.
Yes, I'm in it right now driving, and I took a picture of her phone on the ground before I picked it up.
Okay, how tall is she?
5'3", 5'4".
How much does she weigh?
100 pounds.
Eye color?
Like a bluish blue.
Okay, hair color?
Blonde.
Do you know what she was wearing? Is there
No
something
idea.
she always wears?
I'm assuming she went running, so
Okay,
probably
is there...
running athletic type clothes.
Okay, there's not an outfit she always wears or anything like that. Does she run with a dog or by herself?
By herself.
Okay. What time were the kids
She just started running again, and we live in a...
When's the last time?
Superman.
When's the last time you heard from her?
She sent me a text asking me if I was coming home for lunch.
What time was
got a
that?
whole bunch of mixed, give me 1 second. She sent me a text at 10:47 asking me if I was coming home from lunch from work. And I said, sorry, long day. And that was the last. Never spoke to her on the phone, never any other contact.
Okay, and what time are the kids supposed to be picked up?
Way before 5:30. She usually goes at like 4:45.
Okay.
4:30, 4:45.
Okay, are you headed back to the house, or where are you at right now?
I'm at the end of the driveway where I'm at the Old Oregon Trail and Sunrise where they meet, because that's right where I found her phone on the ground. Telling me that something happened to her is the way I'm looking at it. There's like, then there was hair like in the headphones. Like it got ripped off, like they grabbed
Yeah,
it.
no, I understand.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know you're trying to keep me calm, but obviously.
Yeah. What kind of vehicle are you in?
I'm in a black Kia Optima. Oh my God.
Okay.
And we live down kind of a sketchy street, so I definitely, I don't know if I'm allowed to knock on everybody's door, but I will if I'm allowed to do that.
Well, let's just have the officers contact you so they can start, processing everything, figure out what's going on, okay? And I understand you're freaking out a little bit. We want to make sure we get your kids, make sure they're okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna call my mom and have her.
Yeah, they've been stuck at this. Your phone number.
Yes. Do you want me to wait right here for somebody, or?
If you want to head back to your residence so they can contact you there, and in case she does return.
Okay.
Okay. We'll have them contact you at your residence. Call us back if anything changes, all right?
All right, so they're going to call the number you just took down, the 355?
They'll probably call you when they're on their way, and they're going to come out in person.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
This is the disappearance of Sherri Papini. She lived in Redding, California with her husband, Keith Papini, and their two small children. And she was, well, reportedly a national retail account executive at AT&T. And I don't know if she worked from home or if she actually had a part-time job with them or actually physically worked at an AT&T office.
Well, it sounds like a pretty good position.
It does sound like a made-up position to me. And her husband, Keith, worked for Best Buy. Yeah, he was worked for the Geek Squad for Best Buy.
Right, so he was into computers and doing installations and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he was. And
I guess
I
maybe
think,
it still does. Who knows?
I think he does.
Okay.
Now, this Best Buy was probably about 20 miles from their house.
Yeah, 20 minutes, give or take.
Yeah, 20 miles, 20 minutes, somewhere along there. So that's going to come into play just a little bit later.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get into the day she disappeared.
I was going to say, just like Tim Wilsby, let him off the bench.
Yeah, he's going to catch hell today.
Okay. My bad. Go ahead.
All right. We're going to get into the day she disappeared, Dale. And this was on November the 2nd, 2016.
Okay.
Keith got up that morning, went to work at Best Buy.
Pretty early, too, right? Like 6 o'clock or something?
Yeah, he was up pretty early. And she took the kids to daycare that day.
Is it a daycare or was it like a preschool?
They were pretty small, so I think it was a daycare. I don't think I think one of them was maybe 2 years old at the time.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I don't think it was more like a daycare.
All right. Well, I was going to say if it was like a Head Start or something, it would make more sense if she was at home all the time while I take them to daycare.
Yeah, okay. And maybe she wanted to have some structure in her life. To have something going on as far as a routine.
Okay.
I get that. But anyway, Keith went to work, and she took the kids to daycare. And sometime that morning, she texted Keith asking him if he was coming home for lunch.
That was at 10:24 a.m.
10:24.
Yes.
All right. And he said that he had too much going on at work.
Right. Now, he didn't text her back till about 1 o'clock because he was busy doing an installation somewhere. Yeah.
Busy day.
Right.
And she had went out for a jog.
Yeah, sometime between then and
about 1 o'clock.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It had to be between then and 4:30, I guess. But so we don't really know exactly what time it was.
But she had taken up jogging again because her and I think some of her family members were going to jog in a benefit race.
Yeah, it was like a superhero 5K or something.
Yeah,
something like that, where they would dress up in costumes and run a 5K race for charity or something.
Yeah, and she got back into jogging to get back in shape. But keep in mind, Sherri was only 5'3", 100 pounds.
Yeah, so I mean, how far out of shape was she?
And at the time of her disappearance, she was 34 years old.
Right.
Now, she went out for this jog and supposedly was abducted.
Right.
Now, Keith comes home. He gets home from work about 4:30 that evening. And he's been reported saying that, when he comes home and gets in the door, the wife and kids are running to meet him, and they just have a big hug session.
Right.
And he got home, and there was nobody there.
Nothing.
The house was empty.
Yeah, car was there, but nobody came to the door.
Yep. And he called her on her cell phone.
Yep.
And no answer.
No answer to a call nor a text.
And he had the app on his phone called Find My Phone.
Right.
And he pulled it up and found that her phone, supposedly Sherri was at their mailbox.
Right.
Now,
which was like a mile down the road. Or
a mile from their house. And I think this was a country road. And if you visualize it, the mailbox was a bank of mailboxes for people, I guess, that lived in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it was a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, everybody's seen them.
Yeah.
And it was about a mile away from their house. So when he pinged her phone through the Find My Phone app, it showed that she was at the mailbox.
Right.
And Keith, her husband, just assumed that her and the kids went for a walk and went to the mailbox. And they would be there. So he gets in his car and drives down there, and there's no one there.
Nobody's there.
Nobody's there. He gets out and looking around, and in the grass he finds her cell phone.
Right.
And her earbuds, and tangled up in the earbud cords is some of her hair.
Right. Yeah, like you said on the 911 call.
Yeah. And like I said, Sherri, she had strikingly blonde hair. It was almost white blonde.
Yeah. Really long, yeah.
But he reported that some of her hair had been pulled out and was wrapped up in the cords.
Yeah, and he was kind of flipping out over that. Like, right off the bat, he was thinking, she'd been abducted because of that. But if you think about it, if you got really long hair, that's probably not that unusual to have, I mean, it's not like a clump. It was like, just a couple strands. But
yeah. And we'll post pictures of Sherri on our social media accounts and everything like that. And I've read too, Dale, that she may have worn extensions in her hair at some point or
Could be.
at time. So, but I don't know about this case. But the day she disappeared, she was wearing a bright pink, I guess, running suit.
Yeah.
Reportedly.
It was like pink and black and white, I think.
Yeah.
At least her jacket was.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a photograph of the phone that's in the grass, and it shows, I've seen it on news reports, and if I find it, I will post a picture of it, but it looks like the cords, the earbud cords are neatly wrapped up and laid on the phone, and the phone is face up in the grass.
Right. So it's kind of weird to me. Like, so first thing he thought of when he seen a couple strands of hair was she had been abducted or somebody had done something to her. But it's just strange at the same time that it's so neatly placed.
Yeah. And he takes a picture of it before he picks it up.
So he says.
Yeah.
Now, would you?
No.
If you get home and you're flipping out, your wife's gone, and he did call the daycare.
Yeah.
And found out that she never even picked him up.
Yes, he did.
Right. So when he got home and discovered she wasn't there, he couldn't figure out what was going on. He's like, "Well, hell, wonder where she's at." So he called the daycare to see what time she had picked up the kids and discovered they were still there. So then when he went down there and he found the phone, and the phone's laying there in the grass, and that's when he had the little flip out moment. Anyway, he saw the phone laying there, and he just decided he would take a photo of the phone laying there before he grabbed it to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have done that.
No. I would have picked the phone up.
And see what the hell is going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if I'm already thinking, I don't know.
But his first instinct was that she'd been abducted.
Yeah.
That's his first instinct.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, hell, she dropped her phone. Or anything. It's just, so right off the bat, it's suspicious to me.
Yeah, it is.
And then, when you hear the 911 call, it's kind of, I don't know, same way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of suspicious stuff in this story, but we'll figure out what's going on with you.
Well, the earbuds was found at the intersection of Sunrise Drive and Old Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was about a mile from their home. Now, Dale, police were investigating her disappearance, and they weren't getting any leads from anything. No. And nobody spotted anything, any surveillance cameras around the area. There was nothing on her disappearance. Now, Keith, he took it upon himself to start a GoFundMe page.
Yeah, really quick.
Really quick. And trying to raise money to hire his own private investigator. And about this time, there was a guy who inserted himself in this whole situation by the name of Cameron Gamble. And this guy was some kind of self-professed abduction expert.
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly. And he said he had the backing of an anonymous donor, and they were offering $50,000 in exchange for Sherri's return.
Right. If it was before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, before Thanksgiving. So, what they'd done, they give them a timeline, and if Sherri hadn't been returned, that ransom was off the table, or that reward was off the table.
Yeah, basically what he's going to do, I think it was $10,000 right off the bat, and then they decided it was going to raise it. But then if she wasn't returned within that time limit, then he was going to make it more of a wanted for who had got him. Instead of everybody looking for her, everybody would be looking for them.
They're coming for them, yeah.
Yeah.
But he said he had the backing of an anonymous donor.
Which is weird to me.
Yeah, and he said this anonymous donor was a philanthropist that just happened to be watching the news during this time and saw Sherri's husband Keith, pleading for her safe return.
Right.
Crying and begging for her return, and just felt bad for him, so he generously
Felt they needed help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said he didn't want to attract any attention to himself. He just wanted to put up the money. So all that's that's good, but it's kind of weird to me.
It's way weird. That's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if you don't even know them.
Exactly.
Now, at this time, they was also checking into Keith because, that's what you do right off the bat.
Yeah, check out the husband.
Yeah, and he was very cooperative with them and did anything they wanted, give them phones, get access to computers, phones, DNA, whatever they needed. They gave me, took a lie detector test, which I heard was like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And
he passed it.
Everything.
Passed it with flying colors.
But, when they said he gave up his computers and his phone, all that stuff, but if he was working Geek Squad, he could have had all that ready anyway. If he had something to do with it, which I'm not sure he did or not. But I think he was he was really in love with this chick, so I don't really think he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, you can watch some of his interviews on TV, on YouTube, and, man, he's pouring his heart out.
Yeah, he's pretty tore up about it, right?
Yeah, man, that's I'm no expert on something like that, but that's pretty genuine.
Well, if you think about it, they got a long history. They go back to like 7th grade.
Yeah, they were junior high sweethearts.
Yeah, and then they drifted apart, and she went and actually married another guy
by the name of David Dreyfus.
Right, but they didn't stay. They didn't stay together very long.
I think about 2 years.
Yeah, I think they were married on paper for 2 years. I don't even think they were together that long
at all. And what is weird, during that time, before they were divorced, Keith moved in with her.
Yeah, she had moved back to Redding and run into him, and then they rekindled their old flame and actually went on a real date, and then they moved in together.
Yeah, while she was still married to David Dreyfus.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. They was probably married on paper, but it had been split up a while. And I don't even know if he knew that she had been married before, because basically, like in her blog, she said, it was weird living with a guy because she'd never done that before. So maybe she was playing him right off the bat.
Could have been.
When she was doing their wedding blog or whatever, right into first, she was talking about how weird it was living with a man, but she hadn't done it before.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm thinking Keith probably didn't even know about the first marriage.
No, he probably didn't.
So she's playing him way back.
Yeah. So. But they did interview Sherri's ex-husband, David Dreyfus.
Yes.
And he was nowhere around, and he hadn't spoke to her in probably 6 years.
Yeah, over 6 years.
Yeah, so he wasn't even close by.
Right.
And Keith did have an alibi during her disappearance, and he was, at work. It was confirmed that he was at work.
Yeah, but what his job is at work could be, because they said, remember I said that he didn't text her back until like 1 o'clock.
True.
Because he said that he didn't have his personal phone with him when he was out doing this installation. So if he was pinging that phone, it could be at the Best Buy office. Meanwhile, he's got his work phone, and they can follow it GPS. But just because he's at work, don't mean he's at work.
I just wonder if their Geek Squad vans have GPS on them where they can track them at work.
Probably.
So if he was cleared, I'm sure they checked that stuff.
Yeah. Donnie, I'm trying to stir up some stuff here.
Well, I'm just covering all angles, because as far as Keith goes, I believe Keith. I really do. I think he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
I think he is.
He's like Willis.
Stoke 85.
Hey, taxi.
Pad 4, please. All right. Don't get choked on your beer.
I'm ready.
All right, Dale, we're going to move ahead just a little bit, about 3 weeks on Thanksgiving Day on November the 24th.
Yeah, because we hadn't heard anything, no leads, no nothing.
There's been nothing.
No ransom demands, nobody answered.
In 3 weeks, they'd heard nothing.
Nothing from the professional, whatever you said he was.
Hostage negotiator.
Yeah, he hadn't done any good and hadn't heard nothing. And now we're at 4 o'clock in the morning on
Thanksgiving Day.
24th.
Thanksgiving Day. And Keith is at home. Sherri's husband Keith is at home 4 o'clock in the morning, and he gets a phone call. Actually, he gets a phone call on his cell phone, and it's an unknown number, and he doesn't answer it.
Yeah, because he said he was up shaving at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't answer unknown numbers either.
Especially at 4:30 in the morning.
No. But then his home phone rings,
yeah,
and it's a call from the sheriff.
Right. And in the background, Sherri's just hysterical. So he's flipping out because he can hear her. He knows she's alive.
Yep.
This has been, 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah.
20-something days.
And saying that Sherri has been found, and she was 150 miles away in Sacramento.
Right.
150 miles away from Redding, California. And she had been spotted on a highway. It was actually a country road near I-5. in the county of Yolo. This woman that spotted her, I guess being early in the morning hours, didn't pull over to help her. She just, I guess, pulled up to an exit on ramp or off ramp and called 911.
Yeah, said she was running down. Well, first, Sherry's had a run by a house, and she decided not to go in the house. And then they seen on the video that she was around a church.
Yeah.
And then frantically running around, and then
there's actually video of her running around this parking lot.
Right. And then decided against that and would run up the on-ramp up to the interstate.
Yeah. And this woman spotted her on the road and pulled over and called 911.
Yeah, said she saw her, she was frantic and waving what looked like a shirt or something. And she just kind of called her out of the corner of her eye. Of course, it's 4:30 in the morning, it's dark, and she's going down the interstate. You know, she's probably running pretty good speed. And then she saw her, but she may need some help. But she probably was smart enough to know she wasn't going to stop. So said she kept going until she saw a mile marker. And that's when she pulled over and called 911 so she could give them actual location.
Yeah. But she said the woman looked kind of dirty, disheveled.
Wide-eyed.
Yeah. Actually pretty terrified the way she looked on her face. And said her face looked dirty.
Which is a lot of details to be running 70 miles an hour at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, pitch dark. But, yeah, hey, who knows? I don't know.
But she said later that she thought maybe the dirty was probably just all the bruises.
Yeah.
Because she was pretty beat up.
Sherri had bruises all over her body. Her nose had been broken.
Yep.
The bridge of her nose had been broken. And Dale, she had been branded.
Yeah.
She had a brand.
On her back, on her
right shoulder. Yeah.
And said that the bruises ranged from anywhere from real yellow to black. So it was a long span of time.
Yeah, they've been
beat.
Yeah, bruises have been there. They've changed color, so
right.
They've been there for a while. But Sherri was in the hospital, and Keith, her husband, got to her as quickly as he could.
Yeah.
And he went to Sacramento, and when he walked into the hospital room, he barely recognized her.
Right. Well, when they picked her up, she was wearing, I don't know, was like a jogging suit or oversized jogging pants and sweat, and had a chain around her waist, and I think her left hand was zip tied to the chain.
Yeah.
And then her other hand, and she had some hose clamps around her ankle.
Yeah.
That they said was probably used for some kind of torture or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure she was not in a good way time he got there to see her.
No, but Keith said she looked really rough. He didn't even recognize her.
Yeah, her hair been chopped off pretty short.
Yeah.
Been beat up pretty bad, broken nose, branded. Yeah, not in a good way.
No, she was in bad shape. Now
and lost almost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And she didn't weigh much to begin with.
Yeah, she was 100 pounds to begin with and dropped down to about 80.
Mm.
So yeah, it wasn't good for her at all.
Especially that's pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
According to the Shasta County Sheriff Tom Basinko.
Shasta.
Yeah, Shasta.
Fanta.
In interviews with Sherri, he said that she was held by 2 Hispanic women who took steps to cover their faces with either them wearing a mask or them having a bag over Sherri's head or some kind of covering over her head.
Right.
So she didn't get to see them much at all. But now she did say that one of them was older, darker hair, darker hair with graying in it, and there was a younger woman.
Yeah, and she said that she didn't really look at them even if she had a chance because she was worried about getting more beaten.
Yeah.
So she tried not to look.
Exactly. And she said that they took her in a dark-colored SUV.
Right, and these same 2 people was supposedly the people who abducted her at the mailbox.
Yeah, and they did have a handgun.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, had handguns.
Mm-hmm.
And when they abducted her, apparently they had brandished guns, and they both had bandanas over their face.
Yeah, and we do have a photo of the composite of these 2 women, but it's just 2 women with a bandana and mask over their face. It's like something you'd see today during this COVID stuff. Yeah, so I don't know how good that'll help.
Right.
Now, the clothes Sherri was wearing, we said that it was a oversized jogging pants.
Yeah, sweatshirt.
Yeah, and they did find DNA on her.
Right.
And one DNA match was a female, and the other one was a male.
That's right, which kind of contradicts being that it was only women, because she said it was only those two women that she had anything to do with the whole time.
The whole time,
she
yeah.
was gone, yes.
Unless that clothes belonged to a man that they knew.
Could be. Very possible.
Yeah. Yeah, the DNA could have been from a male that they knew, and clothes they'd left somewhere, and they just let her put them clothes on.
Yeah, because it definitely was not the clothes she had on when she left.
Now, Sherri did say that she got in a fight with one of the women.
The younger one, yep.
Yeah, at some point, because she was wanting to take a shower, and they wouldn't let her take a shower, and she cut her foot on something.
Yeah, they said that it was either she wanted to take a shower, or while she was trying to take a shower, or some kind of. It was in the bathroom, and she said that she slammed the girl's head into the toilet, and then during the tussle, she cut her foot.
Yeah, but they didn't find any cut on her foot at all,
right,
or any kind of scar or anything.
Well, I thought about that, but it just depends on how bad it was. If it was 3 weeks, you might not know it was there, depending on.
True.
Didn't say it was a severe laceration. It could have been a nick.
This is true.
So I don't know. I don't really put much into that.
But now, talking about the women that abducted her. Now, Sherri described, like we said, one of the women being younger, with long curly hair and with a thick accent, and pierced ears and thin eyebrows. And the older woman had straight black hair with some gray coloring and thick eyebrows.
Did she have a thin accent?
I don't know.
I just thought that.
Yeah, sort of balance it out.
Yeah.
And she said the captors mostly spoke in Spanish.
Surprising.
At the time she was held.
Yeah, no. They took those DNAs that they found, and they run it against everybody they think they could. Even because everybody thought maybe, well, here they're going to catch Keith. But it was not even close.
Yeah.
So I wonder why they didn't run it through like a phenotype.
Yeah.
Like it did in the Faith Hedgebed. Where they can take that DNA and run it, and then it kind of gives them a photograph of who they're kind of looking for. And I wonder if they could do that now.
They probably could.
I don't know how new that technology is, but that's what I thought of. When they said they run it and didn't match anything, the female or the male didn't really match anything.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just some touch DNA and it's just like some partial.
Right, didn't say how much or what.
Yeah, they didn't say it was just. They just said it was DNA.
Yeah, they didn't say if it was a hair for just in the fiber or what. But anyway, that's the first thing I thought of. That would have been cool if they would do that.
But now let me throw this in here. This whole time that Sherri was abducted for 22 days, she had never been sexually assaulted.
Right.
Never.
Which is really shocking to me.
Yeah, just beaten and tortured.
Because right off the bat, everybody was thought maybe it was like a sex slave, or what do you call it?
Now, one thing I thought of, Dale. Now, Sherri was strikingly beautiful, thin, young. Well, she's 34 at the time, but she looked really young for her age.
Yeah.
And
small.
Yeah, small frame. And if she was abducted, I just wonder if they thought that she was just a teenage girl.
Could have.
For trafficking.
Yep. Very, very, very possible.
And, then they get her and find out she is a 34-year-old woman that
nobody wanted to buy.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds bad.
That sounds bad, but yeah. But if you look at pictures of Sherri, and if you just glance at her, you'll think she's, a teenager.
Right. Especially a small stature.
Yeah.
And she's hanging out by the mailbox on her phone. So
exactly.
It could have been something like that, yeah.
So that's crossed my mind. So I just thought I'd throw that in there.
That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you. Now, Dale, we're just going to give a little bit of background on Sherri. In 2000, Sherri's father, Richard Graeff, that's Sherri's maiden name also, Graeff.
Yeah.
She burglarized his residence. And 3 years later, she made an unauthorized withdrawals from his checking account.
So basically same difference.
Yeah, pretty much. So she's got some shady past going on.
Right. And I think she even attempted to kick the door in at her sister's house at one point.
Yeah. And her sister had even said that Sherri was known to injure herself or hurt herself at times. So it just makes me wonder if this was staged or if she had, done this.
It's very possible.
And another thing, too, that we need to bring up, it was also reported that Sherri was having a text conversation with a man from Detroit.
Yes.
With plans of meeting him.
Yeah, because he was coming to California.
Yeah.
Just a couple of days before she went missing, actually.
Exactly. So, but they interviewed him and they pretty much ruled him out right off the bat.
Yeah, they went to Detroit and questioned him.
Yeah, but
they found that the text had been going on for several months beforehand.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they had known each other before or something.
Mm-hmm. But he had an alibi for being in Detroit, so nothing came of that.
Right.
But it is kind of fishy that, just 2 days before she went missing.
Yeah. And she also had his name in her phone listed under a lady's name.
Yeah.
For being incognito.
Yeah. About 20 years before Sherri's abduction, a friend that Sherri went to high school with was abducted about 2 miles from where Sherri was abducted. And Dale, to this day, she's never been recovered. They don't know what happened to this girl.
It's pretty coincidental, isn't it?
Very coincidental. And Sherri's husband, Keith, even went to this girl's father asking for advice on what he should do. And during this time, Sherri was missing. So, it makes you wonder, if Sherri, if she staged this for some reason, or if she was really abducted.
Well, I don't know. If she staged, she sure took an ass whooping to do it. I mean, broke nose can't be much fun.
And Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and why really? Because she didn't get much out of it. She didn't, no fame, no fortune.
No.
In fact, not even no attention. Even if she was craving attention before, afterwards, she's hardly ever been seen since. She hadn't done.
She don't go out.
She didn't do the Oprah Dr. Phil tour or none of that. She didn't no media attention at all, and very few people have seen her outside her home in which they actually moved somewhere else. But neighbors rarely ever see her at all.
Yeah, and Keith has given some interviews. He's been on Good Morning America and a few other shows, but
Not her.
no, she will not. She don't do anything.
So I don't know, man.
I don't know if it was just so traumatic that she didn't want to have anything to.
She ain't going in the mailbox.
No, she ain't. Or
You check it.
exactly, have it delivered to the house.
Yeah. So I don't know. It is kind of fishy, and there's all kind of theories about it. Was it a hoax or was it not? But I just don't see the upside of a hoax.
I just wonder how much they got off her GoFundMe page.
It was 49,000 something, just a little bit shy of 50,000, which they were trying to get.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to live the rest of your life off of.
No. And even though they said that, nobody knows what happened to that money or what was done with it. Basically, after she was found, it was never updated. Nobody even went back and thanked anybody for giving money or anything. So,
yeah, I mean, all these people donating money. You should at least thank them.
Now, I think, wasn't his sister running it, or was it her sister? One of the sisters was running
Either his or hers.
Right. So I don't know who that falls on, but it was kind of shitty, really. They got out there and begged for the money. Well, I don't say begged for it, but put it out there to get it. And all these people went and tried to help them out, and then they found her, and that was it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the money. But nothing's ever been said about what actually happened to the money.
I know.
50 grand.
Yep. So, yeah, she got a little bit of fame out of it, but that was about it, and some bruises.
And some brands.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah. Yeah, this story is really goes either way, and we want everybody to comment on it and tell us what you think.
Yeah, it's pretty complex, and then again, there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it, but not a lot of details, because even the police haven't really released very much of anything.
No.
About what's going on. Like, it was just supposedly some Latino ladies with masks.
Yep.
And that's not a very good description. Not much to go on.
I mean, now, one other thing, Dale. Let me put this out there. An essay was posted on a now defunct website called skinheads.com.
That's with a Z.
Yeah, Skinheads with a Z. And this essay was signed by Sherri Grafe.
Right.
And that's, like I said, that's Sherri Papini's maiden name. And the writer said that while growing up in Shasta County, she got into 2 fights with Latinos who targeted her because she was drug-free, white, and proud of her blood and heritage. Now, this Sheriff Basinko said it's not clear if Papini wrote the post, but he said the fights the author described were noted in the sheriff's records. And Sherri's friends and families have said that the post was written by someone else. And, get this, Dale, Sherri also maintained a public Pinterest account that contained a section marked cultural differences and featuring memes expressing concerns about illegal immigrants and Muslims. But this section on her Pinterest has been taken down.
So there's a little more weirdness.
Yeah.
Some not so good stuff in the background, but I'm not so sure about this essay. You know, I'm not saying that's how she felt or how she didn't feel towards Latino people or anything, but I don't think if he's going to go on a Skinheads, which is basically like a hate page. Well, I don't know. I guess it is. I never saw it. But anyway, would you write something like that and then sign your real name to it?
Exactly.
I mean, if it's just SG or something, you know, I don't know that you would go on the internet and write something like that, and which I don't know.
Makes you wonder.
Makes you wonder. And it does say that the fights the author described were not noted in sheriff's records, so it could have all been made up.
It could have been made up.
So, because I was going to say if it were really there, was she involved in the fight, but it was all made up, then I don't really see that being her. I don't know who would have done it, but it don't make a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm. All right. We want everybody to weigh in. Tell us what you think. Will, what do you think?
I think it's a hoax.
Think it's a hoax? It could be a hoax, that's for sure. Or it could not be a hoax, that's for sure.
Yep.
I don't know. It just, when I first heard about this, it was like, everybody was like, this is the one that's the hoax. I'm like, so when I started getting into it, I'm like, I don't know, this is pretty interesting, everything that's going on. But then I'm thinking, man, you didn't get anything out of it except a brand on your back and a broke nose.
Live in isolation.
And go on a hell of a diet plan.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. I don't understand what you would get out of it, you know. And then basically she said she didn't remember anything about what was going on the whole time. You know, maybe a lot of mental torture or stuff. Or she was drugged. Who knows? You don't really know. Hell, she don't know. How do I know?
Yeah.
Could have been drugged. You know, I've heard people saying serial killers do that to people and let them go, and then they never know what happened, you know.
And she's not telling a lot.
Right. No, so I don't know if maybe she's just afraid. And, you know, she ain't looking in the mailbox and she ain't talking.
Mm-mm.
So she's just thankful to be there, I guess. I don't know, but I don't know. This is a pretty interesting story.
All right. We're going to get out of here, Dale.
Let's roll.
We want everyone to be safe, be careful, and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.
Hey, taxi.
Pad 4, please.